My beloved child, there were times when I tried to stir you through dreams, through nameless exhaustion, through those moments when you were forced to pause in the middle of your hurried life, yet you still believed you just needed a little rest. You did not realize that by ignoring those signs, you were taking step after step toward an abyss I myself was trying to keep you from. That tragedy did not come upon you from some illness, but began with the very way you were living a life careless toward your own soul. If you still think your health is yours alone to claim, you are mistaken. I gave you breath, yet you use it to run away from me. I gave you life, yet you live as though there is nothing worth preserving. The tragedy, my child, does not begin with sickness, but with a way of living cut off from me, where you slowly turn yourself into a stranger to the peace I have prepared for you. So when you feel your body growing weak, do not only think of medicine, do not only blame the weather or your age. Look deep into the way you have been living, into your habits, your thoughts, and even the silent spaces you have carelessly left empty. For sometimes, the illness does not lie in the blood, but in the soul. I do not say this to frighten you, but to awaken you. A tragedy is truly frightening only when it arrives, and you still do not know that you have been walking in the wrong direction. There are days when I see you smiling at parties, in the midst of tightly packed plans, in working hours stretched to the point of exhaustion. You say, "I'm fine," but I clearly see your heart beating in weariness, your mind stretched like a string about to snap. This world is filled with disease, yet your body is as fragile as the morning mist, and still you live as though you were untouchable, as though nothing could ever break this rhythm of life. You keep chasing noise, worries, calculations, and you do not reserve even a small corner in your soul to listen to me. And then tragedy does not come as some sudden disaster, but as the outcome of every day you were indifferent, of every minute you ignored the call from within. That is the price of believing you are fine, when in truth you have wandered far from my grace. I do not warn you to terrify you, but to help you stop in time, for there is not much time left, my child. I do not want you to pay the price with suffering, but if you refuse to listen to me, you will be forced to listen to the voice of tragedy. It does not come to destroy, but to awaken like a bell I ring in the midst of a long, heavy sleep. And you know, that tragedy has never been a final full stop. It is only my knock at the door, urgent, firm, yet filled with love, so that you may realize it is time to live differently if you do not want to lose the very life I have given you. My child, I see you still walking along your own path, busy, zealous, and full of schemes. Each day you wake up in the whirlwind of things to do and goals to reach, until you no longer notice the sigh rising from your own heart. You say, "That's life, I just have to be strong," but you do not know that true strength lies not in hands that keep forcing their way forward, but in a heart that knows when to stop before it breaks. I do not want you to go through pain just to learn how to listen, but at times, it is precisely pain that becomes the last voice strong enough to wake you. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Those are the words I spoke to all nations, and the same words I whisper to you today. There have been small signs you have ignored: a moment of dizziness, a sleepless night, a heavy breath. I used these things to touch you gently, yet you only saw them as just overworking. You treat your body like a machine, keep fueling it with coffee, then forcing it to run again. Unaware that this machine is groaning, you still trust that you are strong, but my heart aches, because I see in your eyes a weariness that has seeped deep into your soul. The world teaches you that you must push through, must break your limits, whereas I teach you that sometimes knowing when to stop is the true victory. For if you keep rushing forward without me, what you call living will become nothing more than a series of days slowly being drained away. I know you do not deliberately forget me. It is just that in this world you are surrounded by the noise of things that seem important. Phones ringing, schedules packed, hearts around you also hurrying, and you are swept along with them. But, my child, when everything around you is so loud, how can you still hear my gentle voice? When your mind is filled to the brim with the voices of the world, you lose the ability to recognize the voice of the Spirit crying out within you. Tragedy does not come because I have left you, but because you no longer realize that I am still there, in the midst of all the clamor. When I see you living as though nothing is wrong, I am not angry, only full of compassion. I see you like a child playing on the edge of a cliff, unaware of the depth below. I call out, you turn your head, but then you still laugh, still chase after the kite you call the future. The real tragedy is not when sickness knocks at your door, but when you are so absorbed in brief pleasures that you do not see yourself drawing closer to the thing that pains me most, distance from me. You think you are alive, but in fact, you are drifting away from the very source of life. You think you are winning, but you are slowly losing in a battle no one sees, where your soul is thirsty and you keep drinking from a dry well. I do not speak to make you afraid, my child. I speak so that you may know there is another path where peace is no longer paid for with exhaustion, and health is no longer a gift to be squandered. Tragedy is not a whip I bring down on you, but a bell I sound so you may recognize the value of every breath. Look again, not with the eyes of the flesh, but in the light of faith. For a person may be strong in body, yet weak in spirit, and when the soul is drained, the body will eventually collapse as well. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God, Matthew 4:4. I know you may be thinking, I'm not that bad yet, I'm still okay. But that is exactly what worries me most. Your okay is like a calm lake hiding a whirlpool beneath. You do not recognize the cracks in your mind, the long nights of tossing and turning in anxiety while you keep telling yourself, it's just a bit of stress. I see clearly how each wave of weariness is slowly eating away at your soul, little by little. And then, when your body collapses, you suddenly realize this was not some random accident, but the knocking of something you had once brushed aside. My child, I do not create tragedy to destroy you, but to awaken you. If you can still hear these words, it means there is still time. Stop, just for a moment, and look within yourself. Do not rush to seek remedies. Do not hasten to beg for miracles, when you have not yet returned to me, the one who is the source of all healing. Start with something small, a minute of stillness, a sincere prayer, an act of love. When you begin to listen, tragedy will no longer be an enemy, but a teacher. And then, when you return in silence, you will discover something strange. Not every illness begins in the body, but in the wounds of the mind. There are fears, resentments, and things you have refused to forgive. They lie there, silent, yet toxic. They are spiritual bacteria that no doctor can diagnose. Only I can see them clearly. That is why, when you desire true healing, let me lead you into the very roots of what causes your pain. Just as a seed buried in poisoned soil cannot grow, so it is with your soul. When your mind is covered with fear and bitterness, your body becomes a barren land. You cannot expect flowers to bloom on such ground if you do not allow me to cleanse it. Let me begin at the deepest place in your mind, where true healing takes its first breath. You think illness begins with a weakened cell, a contaminated food, or some accident. But I tell you truly, sickness does not start in the body, but in a mind that has been without peace for far too long. There are people who appear strong, who eat well, live healthily, exercise regularly, and yet they still fall, because inside they have been poisoned by emotions left unhealed. Fear, anger, envy, sadness, all these things you keep in your heart, like wounds made of glass, cutting and bleeding each time they are touched. You do not realize that a soul clinging tightly to its hurts becomes the soil in which the very illness will one day grow, the one that will make you cry out, "Why me?" There are pains that never turn into a cry, yet they slowly drain your soul dry. Each time you remember someone with hatred, you tie yourself to them again with an invisible cord. Each time you retell the old story with a bitter voice, you reopen the wound I have long desired to sew shut. You call it psychology, but I call it a crack in the temple of the spirit. You must know that your body is only the mirror of your soul. When your heart is murky, even light cannot pass through. Above all, guard your heart, for from it flows the springs of life. Prov 4:23. Long ago I spoke these words to you, and today they are truer than ever. I have watched you wrestle with your own thoughts. By day, you smile with everyone. By night, you fall silent in inner torment. You forgive halfway, love cautiously, pray half-heartedly like someone taking medicine yet not believing it can heal. I do not condemn you, because I know you have been wounded too deeply. But my child, only when you choose to let go can your wounds be truly bandaged. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is allowing me to enter the place you cannot heal on your own. You keep trying to control everything, while I only wait for you to loosen your grip so that I can do the rest. Do you know why I say, forgive in order to be set free? Because when you cling to resentment, the first one in chains is not the other person, but you yourself. Each time you think of them in bitterness, your heart tightens, your blood rushes faster, your breath becomes shallow. In that moment, your soul is no longer a resting place of peace, but a battlefield of memories. And when memories win, your body will lose. Sickness does not arrive as a stranger, but as the consequence of the battles you lose within. Do you long to be healed? Then forgive, for forgiveness is not only a spiritual act, it is also a remedy for the body. I hear you pray every night, Lord, please heal me of this illness. But my child, I also long to heal your soul first, for if your heart remains poisoned, then even if your body is strong, you will still be weak. Forgive the one who wounded you, because only then will you truly be free. Forgive yourself, for I have forgiven you long ago. Do not go on condemning yourself for old mistakes, for when you do so, you are saying that my redemption is not enough. If the Son sets you free, you will indeed be free. And 8:36. And my child, do not think that I love you less because of your anger, your weakness, or those moments when you lose your temper. On the contrary, in those very moments, I love you even more tenderly. I see you struggling between good and evil within, between love and hatred, between forgiveness and hurt. I only wish you to know that my gaze has never left you. Every tear you shed is a seed that will one day sprout into peace. Do not fear healing, for sometimes healing begins with touching again the very wound you have avoided for too long. You still ask me, Lord, why did I get this sickness? I do not send illness to punish you. I allow it as a mirror in which you can see what is inside. If you are willing to look deeply, you will realize that each pain is an invitation to return. The tragedy is not in the body, but in your refusal of that invitation. Let your tears become water that washes your soul. Let every hatred dissolve in mercy. When you can do that, your body will begin to rise again, not only because it is healed, but because it has been renewed from within. There will come a day when you look at yourself in the mirror and no longer see exhaustion, not because a sudden miracle has happened in an instant, but because peace has taken hold of you. It is peace, not medicine, that truly purifies the flow of life within you. You will realize that when your mind is full of light, darkness has nowhere left to dwell. When your heart knows how to forgive, your body will be released from invisible bonds. You will no longer ask, why am I sick? But instead give thanks, because through illness you have found yourself again in me. From then on, you will understand. True healing does not come from outside, but from letting me dwell in your soul. And when you allow your heart to be made pure, you will once more hear my voice, soft as the breeze, gentle as dew, yet strong enough to calm every storm within you. For there is one thing the world never teaches you. When your heart is at peace, your body will recover, and when your soul has entered into forgiveness, no sickness will hold the power to rule over you. Hold on to this truth as you move forward, for you will need it in the days to come. When the world once again calls you with its glitter, I know how easily you forget. And the very moment you forget, weariness returns not through disease, but through emptiness. Be alert, my child, for there is another wind, soft yet dangerous, waiting for you. The wind of the world, where you think you are alive while your soul is slowly dying without your knowing. There are days when I see you hurrying along, thinking you are advancing, while in fact you are drifting away from your first direction. You rush in a race without finish, striving to grasp what the world calls success, while all I desire you to keep is simply a heart at peace. You gather possessions, status, recognition, and tell yourself, I need these things to live better. But my child, what you need is not more, but less of what makes you forget that I am your very breath, your true source of life. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet lose their soul? Mount 16:26. These words were not spoken for someone else, but for you today. I once placed within you a heart that could be moved, could show mercy, could listen. Yet in the crowded stream of life, that heart has gradually turned to stone. You hear of others' pain and do not stir. You see suffering and simply pass by. You see your own fatigue and still tell yourself, I just have to try a little more. You do not realize that this numbness does not come from malice, but from letting your soul dry out. You live beneath dazzling lights, yet inside, the darkness is thick as fog. I watch you forcing a smile, forcing yourself to be strong, and my heart aches like that of a father, seeing his child lost in a busy street, no longer remembering the way home. The world whispers sweet words into your ears. Hold on tighter, assert yourself, stand on the highest peak. You listen and believe, and forget that the higher you climb, the colder the winds blow. The things you chase, money, praise, fame, are all sand, and yet you are building your house upon sand. You are not wrong to desire a good life, but you forget that good is not the same as having more. Every step you take in the world, without me, is a step away from the place where your soul finds rest. And I know that the farther you go, the more tired, fearful, and empty you will become. Sometimes you ask why, even with everything you have, you still feel so hollow. I will tell you, because you are living by the rhythm of the world, not by the rhythm of grace. The world teaches you to compare. I teach you to be content. The world teaches you to cling. I teach you to let go. The world convinces you that if you do not keep running, you will be left behind. But I tell you, you only truly lose when you walk away from me. Every applause, every spotlight will one day fade. When that light goes out, if you do not have me, you will be left with only the darkness you yourself have created. I know that at times you pray only to ask me for more chances, more money, more strength, more success. But my child, perhaps what you need most is not more, but enough. Enough peace, so you do not live in anxiety. Enough trust, so you do not live in fear. Enough love, so you do not lose yourself. If you never stop, you will turn your soul into a beggar always, asking, yet never feeling satisfied. You will grow weary, grow weak, and in the end, lose the most precious gift, true joy, which is found only in me. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Mot 6:21. I have never asked you to renounce the world. I want you to live in the world without allowing the world to live in you. You may work, strive, and dream, but do not let these things take over the place in your heart where I dwell. When you leave me out of the equation of your life, every calculation you make will be wrong, no matter how logical it appears, because without me, you are only counting your steps along a worn path. Many steps yet arriving nowhere. Remember, no one loses God in a single night. It is the result of long days when you are too busy to pray and too tired to speak with me. Sometimes your very weariness is my own voice speaking to you. When you feel your heart growing heavy, it is I knocking, desiring that you pause and rest in my embrace. I do not demand that you abandon everything. I only ask that you know how to turn back when you have gone too far. Begin with something very small. In the morning, do not reach for your phone before you say, "Thank you, Lord, that I am still alive." And at night, do not fall asleep in a rush before you whisper, "Lord, grant me peace." Just that, and you have already begun a new journey, the journey of returning to what is true, returning to me. Do you know why I keep reminding you not to chase the world? Because I know that the more you pursue what is fleeting, the farther you stray from your own true self. And when you lose yourself, you also lose the capacity to feel my love. The greatest tragedy is not poverty, illness, or loss. It is the moment you no longer feel that you need me. When the soul grows accustomed to emptiness, it no longer knows how to thirst. Yet I have never ceased to call you. The moment you turn back, even slightly, you will find me still, standing there, not reproaching, not angry, only waiting. And then, when you finally stop, you will see that what has exhausted you is not your work, but your attempt to live without leaning on me. When you return, you will understand that it is faith that gives you true strength. Money can buy medicine, but it cannot purchase peace. Fame can make others look up at you, but it cannot heal your soul. Only I, the one who knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb, can fill that emptiness within you. My child, let me lead you out of the intoxication of this world, for the closer you live to false lights, the more your eyes will ache, and the more your heart will grow blind. Let me soothe the desires that have tangled your mind, so that one day, when you look back, you will see that what you truly longed for was never the world at all, but me, the one who has been waiting for you in the barren fields of your soul. When you understand this, you will know why I call you out from the crowd, not to make you lonely, but to help you see that all that is truly valuable is found in silence, in that place where you and I sit together, needing no words, only presence. And from that place of peace, healing will begin to flow not only in your soul but in your body as well. For when the soul is satisfied, you will no longer destroy yourself with fatigue, tension, and restless craving. From there, you will come to understand that your body is also a temple, a dwelling place where I abide. When you treat that temple carelessly, you do not only harm yourself, you also offend the gift I have given you. But do not be afraid, my child. I will teach you again how to love your own body, not to indulge it, but to be grateful for it. For only when you learn to honor yourself can you truly glorify me in every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of sleep that I grant you. There is something I see in you that makes my heart grow heavy. You have forgotten that this body is a gift, not a mere tool. You treat it like a vehicle that must keep running without pause, forgetting that it needs to stop, to rest, to be restored, to give thanks. You stay up late, eat in haste, drink too much, work without ceasing, and then comfort yourself by saying, "Everyone lives like this." But, my child, this very body is where I dwell, the temple of my spirit, the place where I have placed your breath and your heartbeat. Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who dwells in you. 1 Cor 6:19. When you treat it lightly and carelessly, you do not only grow tired, you wound the very place I have chosen to make my presence known. I have seen you torment yourself with a frantic pace of life, with pointless comparisons, and with the harsh words you speak to your own heart. I am not as capable as others. I am not worthy. I am a failure. Each sentence is like a needle piercing your soul, making your spirit ache and your body collapse. You think only your mind is wounded. But in truth, every self-accusation, every act of self-rejection is a small scratch that slowly turns into a deep wound. I did not create you so that you would hate yourself. I want you to love yourself in humility, for when you love yourself in my light, you truly learn to respect the life I have given you. There are nights when you lie still, your body tired, your heart heavy, yet your mind refuses to rest. Thoughts run on and on like a swarm of ants over a wound not yet healed. I look at you and my compassion aches. You are imprisoned within the very tension you keep feeding. You think that worry proves you are responsible, that exhaustion is the price of effort, but you are mistaken. No one can carry the cross on already broken shoulders. I need you to rest, not because I fear your weakness, but because I want you to have enough strength to go on living the true meaning of your life. You still think I want you to sacrifice yourself until you are drained, to be spent completely for others. No, my child, I want you to give in love, not in depletion. When you do not sleep, do not eat, and do not care for your body, you are trading away something more precious than time. It is the very place I have consecrated. You cannot say you love me while despising your own body. You cannot pray for healing while each day you pour into your body the poisons of stress, regret, comparison, and rivalry. I invite you to live more slowly, eat with gratitude instead of merely getting through a meal, sleep as a sacred act instead of collapsing from exhaustion. Breathe as one who knows that with every second you are receiving a new gift. When you pause to recognize that each breath comes from me, that is the moment you are praying with your very body. Do not think that prayer is only words. Every act of caring for your body, done with conscious thankfulness, is a quiet hymn of praise rising from the midst of ordinary life. I know there are times you are so tired that even prayer feels like a luxury. But, my child, prayer does not always require words. It can be a gentle sigh, a lifted glance, a brief moment when you set down your burdens and allow me to step in. You keep trying, straining, proving that you are still fine, while all I desire is to see you rest in my peace. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Mut 11:28. These are not distant promises. They are a window opened in the present moment. Whenever you pause, I am already there. There is a truth you have not yet seen. Stress is a subtle form of self-poisoning. It makes you feel as if you are truly living, while in reality you are slowly being drained. It teaches you how to run but never how to stand still. It keeps persuading you, just a little more, yet never marks a place to stop. I see it in your quickened heartbeat, your shortened breath, the growing dullness in your eyes. You call it pressure, I call it disconnection. And when the soul is disconnected, the body begins to speak. Headaches, chest pains, aching shoulders, unending fatigue, all are cries from a cracked temple that you refuse to mend. Let me teach you how to live again, not in fear, but in gratitude, not in constant strain, but in watchful awareness, not merely to do, but to be present. Begin by giving thanks for every cell in your body, for each one is obeying my will so that you may continue to exist. When you learn to give thanks for your own body, you are consecrating every breath and every beat of your heart. And in that very moment, the miracle of healing begins, not noisy, not sensational, but simply the return of balance, that precious harmony you have long since lost. And then, when your body finds rest, your soul will grow quiet as well. You will see that healing can never be separated from faith, for faith is not only believing that I exist, but believing that I am present within your very body. Do not wait until sickness, comes before you seek me. Come while you are still well, so that my love may make you even stronger. For my beloved child, prayer that does not lead to a different way of living is a prayer not yet complete. If you truly trust me, let that faith become action, the action of one who honors the gift I have given, your body, your soul, and your life. When you understand this, every anxiety will gradually dissolve, because you will no longer pray out of fear, but out of trust. You will no longer live to avoid illness, but to guard grace. And precisely in that trust, your body will find rest, your heart will be at peace, your soul will be filled. That is when you begin to step into what I have long been waiting for you to receive, the fullness of life, where faith is no longer just words, but the heartbeat of each day. Light as breath, yet deep as the love I have for you. I have heard you pray many times, but not every time have I heard the voice of your heart. For there are moments when you come to me not with faith, but with fear. You speak to me with a trembling heart, as though I were the one holding a rod, not a father overflowing with love. You recite prayers like someone paying off a debt, not like a child speaking with a tender father. And then, when you see no miracle, you grow disappointed and think, I am silent. You do not know that I am still there not to indulge your wishes, but so that you may learn to trust my will. When you pray, do not keep babbling like the pagans, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Matt 6-7-8. My beloved, faith is not a candle that burns only when night falls. Faith must be like the sun that still shines at midday, even when no one is paying attention. You seek me only when you are afraid, but I long for you to seek me also when you are at peace. You call on me in sickness, but when you are well, you fall silent. You weep and beg me to save you, but once I have saved you, you hastily return to your old rhythm of life, as though you had never needed me. You do not realize that I do not only want to heal your body, I want to walk with your soul at every moment. Faith is not a ticket to obtain favors. It is the bridge on which you can live truthfully in love. There are times when I hear you say, I trust in God, and yet you still worry, calculate, fear losing, fear lacking, fear suffering. You trust me with your lips, but let fear lead the way. I do not blame you. I am only saddened because you have forgotten that fear is darkness, while I, myself, am the light. Fear makes you see everything as a threat, whereas faith helps you see in all things an opportunity for me to act. When you tremble before tragedy, you forget that true faith does not shield you from storms, but helps you stand firm in the very midst of them. My child, do not trust me only when everything is fine. Trust me even when everything is collapsing, because it is precisely in the ruins that I raise up what is new. I have told you that prayer is not a ritual but the breath of the soul. If you stop praying, your soul will slowly suffocate. You cannot say, I believe, and yet not pray, just as you cannot live without breathing. Prayer is not about saying many words, it is about living truthfully before me. A single glance lifted toward heaven, a brief silence amid the noise, one thankful breath, that, too, is prayer. When you say, Lord, help me to believe more, in that very moment I am already within you. For I do not look for polished words, I look for a heart willing to open. Faith without works is dead. Jos 2:17. You often say to me, I have prayed and prayed, but nothing seems to change. I smile, because I see that you are still holding tightly to everything in your hands. True prayer is not only speaking, it is daring to let go. You ask me to lead the way, yet you keep walking according to your own will. You ask me for peace, yet you cling to your worries. Prayer without faith is like sowing seeds on stone. I do not need you to know every prayer by heart. I only need you to believe that I am listening. And when you believe, the miracle begins not on the outside, but deep within your own heart. Know this, Prayer does not change me, it changes you. It does not turn me into a dispenser of favors according to your wishes. It makes you into a child who knows obedience and gratitude. When you pray with genuine faith, you will no longer fear loss, because you know that I always give what is best, even when you do not yet understand. Faith is the key that opens the door to peace, while doubt is the lock you yourself fasten. And I, though all-powerful, will not break that lock if you do not wish to open it. I see in you a deep longing to be healed, but I also see your fear of letting go of control. You want miracles to happen, yet you hesitate to step out of your comfort zone. You want me to change your circumstances, but you do not want to change yourself. My child, true faith is not waiting to see and then believing. It is believing first and then seeing. When you begin to believe that I love you more than you can ever imagine, you will find peace, even while the sickness has not yet left, even while the burden has not yet been lifted. For faith does not make the waves disappear. It teaches you how to walk upon the waters with me. Do you remember? I once said to Peter, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Mote 14:31. Those words were not only for him, they are for you today. I do not say them to reproach you, but to lift you up, because I see you sinking into the worries you yourself have created. You pray in fear, and so your faith has not yet blossomed. Change the way you pray, my child. Do not pray merely to escape fear, but pray that my love may become greater than your fear. When you place your trust in love, every anxiety will slowly fade away, like mist dissolving at dawn. And then, when you truly live by faith, you will understand. A miracle is not when the illness disappears, but when your heart is at peace in the midst of illness. It is not when circumstances change, but when you learn to see everything in the light of God. Faith does not spare you from suffering, but it prevents suffering from plunging you into despair. For when you live in faith, you no longer live under the shadow of fear, but under the shadow of love. And in that love you will rediscover everything: health, peace, and even your very self. Remember this, my child. Prayer is not meant to make me hear you, but to help you hear me. And faith is not a force that pressures me to act, but a window that opens for my light to pour in. When you know how to trust, how to be silent, how to surrender, you will see every storm of life turn into a hymn. And there, right there where you stand still amid the tempest, you will realize I have never left you, not even once. For I am the peace you have been, seeking all this time, the healing that goes beyond the body, the beginning of a new life, the life of one who truly believes. The tragedy you are facing is not a final full stop, but the beginning of a journey of rebirth. It is like a purifying fire that burns away what is weak, so that what is strong and radiant in you may be revealed. Every tear you shed, every time you collapse in exhaustion, is not meaningless. They are witnesses to the maturing of your soul, proof that you are still alive, still fighting to return to the wellspring of love I have already planted in your heart. You are not alone. Even if the world turns its back, I am still there, watching every breath, every step you take, simply waiting for you to open your heart so that I may enter and soothe the storm surging within you. Do you know this? Tragedy is only a mirror. It does not destroy you. It simply shows you clearly what in your heart is cracking and needs to be healed. Every time you are hurt is a knocking, invitation to look deep within, to the place where I quietly dwell, where peace has never abandoned you. Yet you have been so busy chasing the noise outside that you have forgotten to listen to the gentle call of your own soul. You have allowed fear, resentment, and self-contempt to seize your heart, making you believe that you are unworthy of love, that life is nothing but darkness. But, my child, darkness is never the end. It is precisely in the darkness that my light shines brightest. It is precisely when you think you have lost everything that you can begin to see true grace. I do not send you tragedy to torment or punish you, but so that you may stop and look back at the path you have walked. Tragedy is like a bell of awakening in the middle of a long night, stirring a soul that has fallen asleep in desire, weariness, and confusion. You have been tirelessly searching for happiness outside yourself in praise, in success, in people who do not truly understand you. But all these things are as fragile as sand. The lightest wind can scatter them. I am different. My love for you depends on nothing at all. It is eternal, the harbor to which you can return at any moment. Look back at your body, my child. Every ache, every fatigue is trying to tell you something. They are not your enemies, but honest messengers of your soul. When you allow hatred, tension, and resentment to take root in your heart, your body is only reflecting that outward. Illness in the flesh is often the result of wounds in the mind that have not been healed. You have lived too long in fear, in self-blame, and sorrow. I do not blame you, because I understand you have only been trying to protect yourself. But now you need to learn how to let go. Forgiveness is not about excusing others. It is about freeing yourself from the shackles of suffering. Let go of the memories that have decayed, so there is room for the light to enter. I long for you to sit down, breathe deeply, and feel each stream of air moving in and out of your chest. Every breath is a miracle, a sign that you still have the chance to begin again. The past is gone. You cannot turn back time, but you can change the way you live in this present moment. Every second can be a new beginning if you are willing to open your heart and receive it. Do not bind yourself to what is old, to the mistakes I have long forgiven. Believe that you are worthy of peace, worthy of light and joy. I have placed within you a seed of faith. As long as you trust, it will sprout even in the midst of a barren desert. Faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to keep walking even while fear surrounds you. Let that faith guide you through the dark days. When you believe, you will see that tragedy is no longer a burden, but a pair of wings helping you rise higher, helping you understand more deeply the value of love and of life itself. Life will never be without challenges, but each challenge is an opportunity for you to discover that you are far stronger than you ever imagined. Remember that I have never been far from you. When you cry, I am there, wiping your tears. When you fall, I am there, extending my hand to lift you up. When you are lonely, I sit quietly beside you, waiting for you to notice my presence. You need only turn back, only say, I trust in you, and I will fill the empty places in your heart with peace. Do not be afraid anymore, my child. Fear is only a shadow of the mind. It disappears the moment you turn your gaze toward the light. Tragedy is not evil. It is simply a stern teacher. It comes to teach you to love more, to be more compassionate toward the pain of others, to cherish the simple things you once took for granted. If life were made of joy alone, you would never know the value of tears. Without the night, you would not recognize the beauty of dawn. So be thankful even for the stormy days, for it is they that polish you, shaping you into a soul that is more radiant and resilient. When you learn how to smile in the midst of suffering, when you can say thank you, even in adversity, that is when you have truly matured in your soul. I want you to reach that place, the place where every wound becomes a lesson, every tear is dried by love, the place where you no longer fear anything, because you know that I still hold sovereignty over all things. And when you rise again, after everything, you will realize that tragedy has not taken anything truly precious from you. It has only stripped away what you no longer need for the journey ahead. It makes you lighter, freer, more authentic. When you no longer fear loss, you will see that you possess everything. When you learn to let go, you will find your heart flung wide open, holding within it the whole universe of love that I have given you. My child, do not turn your back on suffering. Look straight at it, because only when you dare to face it will it lose its power over you. Embrace your pain as you would embrace a part of yourself, and then gently release it, you will find yourself as light as a falling leaf, drifting toward the light. I am there, arms wide open, waiting for you to come home. From this day on, slow down and listen to the whispers of your soul. Allow yourself to be weak, to weep, to rest, for in that very softness, I will pour my strength into you. You do not have to be strong all the time. You only need to be sincere. Trust that everything that happens has a reason, and that reason is always leading you toward goodness. Tragedy is only a bend in the great journey of destiny. It makes you think you are lost, but in truth, it is only guiding you toward a new path, a path of awakening, of freedom, of absolute trust. And as you walk with an open heart, you will realize that behind every ruin, a new life is rising. That is the gift I give you, the gift of rebirth. Now, take a deep breath and say to yourself, I am ready to live again. For in every cell of your being, my light is still flowing. You have never truly lost your peace. You have only forgotten the way back to it. Let tragedy become the key that opens the door of peace, so that from there you may step into life with clear eyes and a heart blazing with faith. And then you will understand that everything that has passed was worthwhile, because it has led you back to me, the inexhaustible source of love and the true home of your soul. My beloved child, when you lay down the burden of resentment, when your heart opens to forgive, the light of peace will begin to seep into every corner of your soul. Forgiveness is not forgetting, nor is it denying the pain. It is choosing not to let that pain imprison you any longer. You have been wounded, betrayed, and left feeling abandoned in the darkness of things that seemed impossible to overcome. Yet it is through these very cracks that my light can enter. Let me touch the deepest place in your heart, where you have hidden away everything you never dared to. Say, you have been strong for too long, trying to stand firm in the storm, forgetting that you do not have to fight alone. I am here, always here, from the days you collapsed to the moment you smile again. You do not need to be perfect to be loved by me, for my love is not based on achievement, nor does it demand that you be worthy. It simply is like breath, like the morning light, like your own heart beating even when you are unaware. The world has made you believe that you must prove your worth through outward things, through money, beauty, the approval and applause of others. But, my child, those are only fragile illusions. When night falls, when the clapping fades, when the people you tried so hard to please turn away, what remains? Only you and me, only a naked soul, longing to be truly loved. You were not born to chase after what will disappear, but to discover the sacred essence within yourself. I have placed in you the seed of love and compassion, but the world has made you forget. Now I invite you to come back to yourself, back to that place of peace that nothing can shake. You once asked me, why must I forgive those who made me suffer? I tell you this, because when you cling to hatred, you lock your own soul in chains. Forgiveness is not declaring that they were right, it is acknowledging that you deserve to be free. Hatred is like a fire that burns you from within, while the one you hate may feel nothing at all. When you forgive, you extinguish that fire and make room for love to flow back in. I know forgiveness is not easy, but you are not alone. I will walk with you on that path through every step, every tear, every moment when you tremble between longing and pain. Remember, the trials you go through do not come to destroy you, but to help you grow, deepen, and draw nearer to me. When you suffer, I suffer with you. When you weep, I quietly wipe away your tears with the wind. When you collapse, I place my hand on your shoulder and say, stand up, there is still a road ahead. Do not fear failure, for no failure is truly final if you still learn something from it. Every pain is a lesson, every loss is an opportunity for you to understand more about love, about mercy, and about your own soul. My child, Do you know that the world will always change? People will come and go, but I will not. My love does not fade or change. It does not depend on time or circumstances. Even if you stray far from me, even if you doubt, I still stand waiting. I do not need you to prove anything. I only need you to believe that you are loved, that you have worth, that your life has meaning. Even when you stumble, I still see light within you. I do not look at you through your mistakes. I look at you through your true essence, a child of the light, born to love and to be loved. My child, lift up your head. Do not let the past bind you in fear. The past is only a place to learn from, not a place to live forever. Let your tears wash away the remnants of hatred, so that you may see again the beauty of the present. Believe that this life, though it has its dark corners, is still full of goodness. Each dawn is a new opportunity for you to begin again, to love more deeply, to live more truthfully. You do not need to have all the answers. Just a small seed of faith is enough for me to lead you through the night. When you place your trust in me, you will learn how to let go. You will realize that true strength does not come from controlling everything, but from trusting that all things have their reason and are arranged in love. There are things you do not yet understand today, but one day you will see that every turn, every storm, has brought you closer to yourself and to me. You were not created to live in fear, but to shine in faith. Let me teach you how to love again, not with a heart that has been wounded, but with a heart that has been healed. Love as though you had never been hurt. Trust as though you had never been disappointed. Look at the world through the eyes of gratitude, for it is gratitude that transforms everything. When you are grateful, you will see the small miracles around you, the birdsong of morning, a friendly smile, the warmth of sunshine, or simply the moment you are able to breathe and realize that you are still alive. That is grace. It is a reminder that I am still by your side. I want you to understand that you are not only this body, not only the roles you are carrying. You are an eternal soul, born of love and destined to return to love. Everything else is temporary. Money will be lost, power will fade, beauty will wither, fame will dissolve like mist, but love remains. It is love that makes you great, that makes you immortal, that gives your life meaning. So love, even when others do not return it. Give, even when you receive nothing back. For when you love, you are living true to the nature I have placed within you. Do not run from yourself any longer, my child. Stop, be still, and listen to my call in your heart. I am not far away, not only in the high heavens, but right in your breath, in every beat of your heart. When you become still, you will hear me say, I love you. You are already enough. And when you truly believe this, you will stop searching outside for what has already been given within. You were born with a purpose, not to struggle in despair, but to light up the world with your own unique light. Even if you are but a drop in the ocean would not be complete without you. Every small action of yours, every loving word, every smile, every act of forgiveness spreads out like waves, touching other hearts and changing the world in ways you do not expect. You are more important than you think, and your love has greater power than you have ever believed. So let go of the burdens you carry, my child. Allow yourself to live lightly. Forgive others, yourself, and even the things you cannot change. Open your arms and receive life with faith and gratitude. And as you do, you will realize that I have never left you, never stopped loving you, never ceased to believe that you would find your way home. Let me lead you on the path of peace, where pain dissolves like morning mist, where you may be yourself whole, free, and loved without condition. Tragedy is not the final full stop of life, but an invitation for you to return to yourself, to the loving source of light that I have already sown in every cell and every breath of yours. When you pause in the midst of pain, let that stillness open a door to deeper understanding. I do not want you to see tragedy as punishment. but as a silent teacher, instructing you in faith, gratitude, and the art of letting go. Let your heart be soft like the earth after rain, ready to receive the seeds of grace I sow. When you learn to listen to the voice of your soul, you will understand that every suffering has a purpose, and every wound holds within it the light of healing. Remember, nothing in this world happens outside of my permission, and all things are woven from the threads of love, even when you see only the underside of the tapestry. My child, I have given you a body not merely to exist, but to honor life. Do not treat it as a tool for ambition, but as a sacred temple in which I dwell. Every cell within you is a small candle, and when you care for your body with love, they shine and sing in harmony with the universe. Nourish your body with fresh, pure food, with what the earth bestows, not only to sustain life, but to give thanks to its source. Each time you eat, do so mindfully, as though receiving a miracle. When you drink water, let that clear stream wash away the burdens of your soul, so that every drop flowing through your body becomes a blessing. Breathe deeply, for in every breath I am infusing you with new life. As you exhale, release all heaviness. As you inhale, receive the peace I am sending. Do not forget to rest, for in stillness I speak to you most clearly. You do not need to force yourself to be strong at all times. Sometimes stopping is the bravest act of all. Do not harm yourself by filling your mind with dark things. Every thought you nurture has the power to shape reality. When you allow hatred or doubt to take root, you are building a wall between yourself and peace. Choose your thoughts as you choose the seeds you plant in the garden of your heart. Sow only those that carry the fragrance of love, honesty, and hope. Let kindness become the lamp that lights your way, so that even as you walk in the night, you still recognize the direction of the light. Forgiveness is not denying the pain, it is returning freedom to yourself. When you pray for those who have hurt you, you are casting off the chains that bind your soul. You do not do this because they deserve it, but because you understand that peace is a gift only those who love unconditionally can truly touch. My child, I see your shoulders weary from carrying what was never yours to bear. You think that with enough effort you can fix every mistake, mend every fracture in the world. But beloved, there are things that only my hand is powerful enough to touch and transform. You were not born to carry everything, but to learn how to trust. When you try to control what cannot be controlled, you bind yourself with invisible cords of anxiety. Let go, like a leaf leaving the branch to be lifted by the wind. Place all your fears, all your hurts, and even what you cannot yet understand into my hands. I know the path of the wind. I see what your eyes cannot yet see. When you entrust things to me, you lose nothing and regain everything: your freedom, your serenity, and the simple joy of living that you have dropped along the way. I am stronger than any storm you have ever faced. When you are confused, remember that I was there before the winds began to rise. When you are afraid, know that I am standing in the midst of the storm with you, never leaving your side. Human understanding has limits, but my wisdom never runs dry. Let me lead the way, for I see the destination where you see only darkness. Do not doubt my love when you have not yet seen the outcome, for sometimes blessings appear in the form of loss. In the very moment you feel most abandoned, I am closest to you, whispering into your heart that all shall be well. You do not need to understand all of my plans. You need only trust that they always aim toward what is good. When you learn to let go, you will discover a relief beyond compare. Your soul will become like a still lake, reflecting the blue of the sky. Every fear that once surrounded you will slowly dissolve like morning mist. This is not a miracle from the outside, but a miracle born from deep faith. Faith is not seeing, but knowing with certainty that even when you see nothing, you are still being held. Every time you choose to believe, you are overcoming the darkness within yourself. If you remain, faithful in your heart to what you believe, no power can truly harm you. Evil only has authority when you allow it to take shelter in your heart, but when you light the lamp of trust, the darkness must retreat. You will pass through fire without being burned, for in that very flame I am refining gold from your soul. You will walk in the midst of the storm without being swept away, for that wind is my own breath, testing the strength of your faith. Remember that everything I allow to come to you has a reason. Every pain is a path that leads to maturity. Every loss is a reminder of the value of what still remains. Do not be afraid of change. Every season must pass, and no night lasts forever. When you are willing to let the past flow away, the dawn will return. Life is a river that never stops flowing, and only when you learn to move with it, instead of fighting against it, will you truly be free. Slow down. Listen to the voice within, so you can see that I am still there, in the beating of your heart, in the song of the morning birds, in the drop of dew resting on the leaf. You are a work of love, created not for fear but for love. Do not let old wounds make you close your heart. The world may change, people may betray you, but my love for you is everlasting. Believe this, for it is the source of strength that helps you rise after every turn in the road. When you love, you are sharing in life itself. When you forgive, you are walking side by side with me on the journey of redeeming humankind. And when you look back, you will see that the tragedies of the past were only the rain that helped the soil of your heart burst into bloom. You will give thanks for the days that once made you weep, because they taught you to cherish every smile. You will realize that blessing does not come from what you possess, but from the peace within your heart. Guard that peace as a lamp that leads the way, for only by its light can you walk through the long night into the eternal dawn. This world, no matter how vast it may seem, is still only a small stage where light and shadow are woven together in every moment of a person's life. There will be days when it rains relentlessly in your soul, when you feel lost in a sea of people, when all your efforts seem to turn to ashes. But my child, do not let that sorrow become a prison that locks away your spirit. You were not born to live in fear or despair. You were created to shine, to kindle faith again in hearts that have grown cold. The light within you will never suddenly go out, because it springs from the very love I have placed in your heart, a love that nothing can erase. No matter how many trials life may hurl at you, I still know you can stand firm, because the strength in you is greater than every storm outside. Do not be afraid to walk through the darkness, for wherever you pass, light will spread. There are moments when you sigh and look up at the sky, asking why I am silent, why your earnest prayers seem unanswered. You do not know that in that very silence, I am still listening, still arranging every fragment of your life so that you may receive what is far better than what you are asking for. My delay is not forgetfulness. It is my way of teaching you patience, teaching you to trust even when you see nothing ahead. Remember, a seed only sprouts when it is buried deep in the dark soil, and so it is with you. Only when you are pressed down in suffering do you truly rise in strength and understand the value of faith. Do not let disappointment cloud your vision, for what I am preparing for you always surpasses what you are praying for now. I know you have wept in secret, have bowed your head in a loneliness that seemed to have no way out. I know there were times you wanted to give up, when you thought you were not strong enough to go on. But my child, I have never been away from you, not even for a single breath. When you tremble in the dark, it is my hand that holds you. When you are exhausted, it is my strength that lifts you up. You do not need to scream for me to hear. A single breath whispering, my name is enough for me to be there. My love does not depend on whether you are worthy or not, for I do not love you because of anything you have done, but simply because you are mine. In every wound you carry, I see a beautiful story, a story of growth, of courage, of a faith that refuses to be extinguished, even when surrounded by storms. Do not think your tears fall in vain. Each one is a silent prayer rising up, and I gather them, turning them into blessings for your tomorrow. The suffering of today is the very soil in which the seeds of future joy will take root. If you look at life with the eyes of faith, you will see that every hurt carries within it a deeper purpose. You may not understand yet, but I understand. You may not see yet, but I am at work. In every silence, in every season of waiting, I am still weaving miracles into your story. Let faith become the lamp that never goes out in your heart, for that light will lead you through every night. When you walk among those who do not understand you, when your words are dismissed, when your kindness is taken advantage of, do not let your heart grow cold. Let love keep flowing in you like an underground spring nourishing all that is good. Gentleness does not make you weak. It is a quiet strength that makes the darkness bow its head. Do not be afraid of being hurt when you love, for only love makes your soul truly alive. I have placed within you a heart that can sympathize, that can be moved, that can ache, and can forgive. This is what makes you different, what makes you more like me, the one who always loves, always shows mercy, always waits. Do not try to understand every plan I have for you, because some things go beyond the reach of your mind. You only need to trust that wherever you go, I still hold you in the palm of my hand. You may lose your way in the night, rain, but I am the lamp that never goes out. You may collapse in the desert, but I am the fresh water that soothes your thirst. You may be wounded by the cold winds, but I am the embrace that warms you, the safe shore after the storms. This life does not promise to be easy, but I promise to walk with you, step by step. And because of that, you are never alone. Do not forget that every time the dawn breaks, it is a reminder that darkness can never overcome the light. Each day you wake is a new gift, a new chance to begin again, to forgive, to love one more time. No matter how bad yesterday was, I still give you today, because I believe you can still make it beautiful. Live with a grateful heart, for gratitude is the door that opens onto joy. When you can give thanks, even in adversity, you have already risen above your suffering. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to keep walking even while fear is still there. I want you to know that you are not defined by failure, nor are you confined by your mistakes. You are a work I am shaping day by day, through every joy and every sorrow. Each time you fall, I do not see weakness. I see a soul learning how to soar higher. I do not demand perfection from you. I only ask that you do not give up, for as long as you still believe, still love, still seek me, nothing is truly lost. Let your heart remain soft so that forgiveness can blossom. Do not let hatred take the place of love, for where love is, there I am. The day will come when you look back and realize that all the suffering that once made you want to surrender was precisely what helped you grow. Every pain carries a gift within it. It may be deeper understanding, it may be compassion, it may be the strength to love those who are hurting just as you once hurt. When you learn to see pain through the eyes of faith, it will no longer terrify you, because I have turned what seemed like loss into the seeds of a new life. My child, never lose hope. It is a fragile thread, but it holds you firmly to me. When you are about to collapse, take hold of it. When you are lost on the open sea, fix your gaze upon it. Hope will never betray you, for hope is the breath of love, the heartbeat of faith. No matter how fierce the storm, if you hold on to hope, you will never be swept away. I am the Lord of that hope, and I dwell within you. Let me be the light that shines through your heart, so that when people look at you, they may also see hope. And when you have passed through all the storms, when you stand firm in the very places that once terrified you, you will understand that I never left you, not even for a moment. You will see that every tear, every prayer, every trembling step has led you to a deeper place, where you find yourself again and find me again. Then you will no longer ask, why? But will smile and say, thank you, for everything you have gone through, whether painful or joyful, has been my way of loving you, with a love that surpasses every understanding in this world. My beloved child, in this very moment, when your soul is weary at the crossroads of life, I want you to pause and listen to the beating of your own heart. In that quiet breath, I am still there, in the deepest place within you, where the light has never gone out. Do not let old mistakes bind your soul any longer. Do not let sin or shame become chains that keep you from coming close to me. I do not look at you with eyes of judgment, but with the gaze of a loving father who always believes that the lost child can still come home. Every time you stumble, I do not turn my back. I open my arms and wait to lift you up and to dry the bitter tears still lingering on your cheeks. My child, stop looking back at what has been lost, for the past cannot be changed, but the future is opening before your eyes like a radiant doorway. As long as you take a step forward, as long as you dare to believe, miracles will begin to take root in your heart. Do not be afraid, for I know you have been weak, yet within you there is always a small spark, the little lamp of faith, and I long to fan it into flame with my undying love. Let me erase the dark shadows that are covering your soul. Let me breathe a new wind into your very breath and awaken the hope you thought had died. You have gone far, but you have never been out of my sight. I have watched every step you took, even when you walked through the coldest lands of loneliness, even when you thought no one cared anymore. In each of those moments, I was still by your side, silently, like an ember glowing through a winter night, waiting for you to recognize my warmth. And now, as you hear my call, know that it is an invitation to come home to your true self, to return to the endless source of love. I do not need you to be perfect. I only ask you to be honest. Open your heart and tell me the things you have never dared to share with anyone. Speak with all your tears, with all your trembling, with the loneliness you have hidden so carefully. I do not reproach you. I only want to hold you and whisper that you are still loved, you are still forgiven. The world may doubt you, but I do not. I believe in the goodness that is still alive within you, the part of you that even you sometimes forget. Every kind word you speak, every small act you do for another, is like a flower blooming in the desert, and I see it all. Even if people do not acknowledge it, even if no one applauds, I still smile, because I know your heart is slowly becoming more like mine. Be patient, for goodness does not bloom in an instant. Just as a seed must pass through darkness before it finds the light, so must your soul pass through trials in order to mature. Do not resent your sufferings, for they themselves are the silent teachers that help you learn compassion, learn to love, and learn to bow without losing your dignity. Every tear you shed is recorded by me. Every sigh that escapes you, I listen to. And the day will come when you realize that what once seemed broken beyond repair has become the very foundation of your strength today. You are not alone. When all the doors of this world close, I open a path for you. When others turn their backs, I draw near. When you think the darkness has swallowed everything, I am the torch that still burns quietly, lighting your way. Do not fear the future, for I am already there. Do not fear your mistakes, for I can turn them into opportunities. Do not fear love, for love itself is the bond that unites you to me. If you only know how to pray with dry, empty words, then change them into words that rise from the depths of your heart. Speak to me as you speak to your own soul. I do not need ceremony. I do not need outward forms. I only desire sincerity. You do not have to pretend to be strong. Be weak before me, so that I may be your strength. Lay down the burdens you have carried for so long. Let me carry the heaviest part for you. From now on, stop tormenting yourself, for you have been forgiven. Forgive yourself, just as I have forgiven you. Let my peace seep into every hidden corner of your soul and soothe the wounds you thought would never heal. My child, do not measure your worth by the eyes of the world. They see only the surface, but I see the heart. They judge your mistakes, but I see the longing in you to live a good and noble life. Do not let the voices of this world extinguish your trust in yourself. Remember that I created you not for fear, but for radiance. Every trial you endure is an opportunity for you to reveal the power of love. And when you choose love instead of resentment, when you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, when you choose to rise instead of giving up, that is when you make me more proud than ever. I do not ask you to become a saint. I only desire that you become truly yourself, the best version you can be, still bearing your scars, yet shining with faith. Do not be afraid that I will abandon you when you are weak, for it is precisely in your weakness that I am closest to you. When you no longer have the strength to walk, I will carry you. When you collapse, I will lift you up. When you lose your way, I will be the compass that guides you home. You only need one thing. Do not close your heart to me. For when you open your heart, every miracle becomes possible. You will see light in the very midst of darkness. You will hear the music of joy sounding in the middle of sorrow. You will taste the fullness of life in every breath you take. Let me rewrite the story of your life with the pen of grace, with the ink of mercy, on the pure white pages of a new beginning. You have traveled a long road, and I know there were times when you only wanted to stop and give up. But do not, my child. Take my hand and let me walk with you for the rest of the way. For at the end of that road is light, not the faint light of this world, but the radiant light of eternal love. One day, when you look back, you will understand that everything I allowed to happen carried a profound meaning. Even the pains that seemed useless have been the stones paving the way to true happiness. I never let you walk through the storms alone, because I, myself, am your shelter. Believe this, live by this faith, and one morning you will find your soul suddenly light, no longer weighed down by fear or regret. My child, never doubt my love, for it has no conditions. Wherever you are, whoever you have become, whatever you have done, that love remains unchanged. It does not fade with time, it does not shift with circumstance. It exists beyond every fault, every distance, every wound. You are a part of that love, and therefore you are loved forever. Live in a way worthy of that love, not by being flawless, but by having a grateful heart and a desire to grow better each day. Walk forward with the trust that I am beside you, never leaving you. For you are my joy, my light, the reason I keep waiting, keep loving, and keep embracing you without end. My beloved child, prayer is not merely a religious act or a daily habit, but the heartbeat of the soul, the silent yet powerful current that nourishes your spirit in the midst of life's turmoil. When you open your lips in the stillness, when your mouth whispers even the smallest, simplest words, in that very moment I am already present. Prayer is the invisible bridge joining the human heart to my sacred dwelling. It does not need to be adorned with eloquent phrases or complicated rituals. What I long for from you is simply a true heart, a sincere breath, a word that rises from the depths of your being, where faith has never been extinguished. For in every beat of your heart, I am there. When you pray, you are not facing an empty void. You are standing before love, my love for you, from before the universe was formed. Believe that every time you speak, even in silence, I hear you. The tears that fall from your eyes are never meaningless. They are precious pearls held gently in my hands. The choked sobs that escape you in the night, I hear them as clearly as a fervent plea. And your trusting silence, that too, is the most beautiful song your soul can offer me. You do not need to search for perfect words, nor arrange your petitions in strict formality, because I do not listen with ears, but with my heart. All I desire is that you come to me as you are, with all your weakness, your hopes, your fears, and your love. In that moment, you do not need to act strong or hide your wounds. Let your heart stand bare and honest, for only in such truth can my light enter and bring healing. My child, when you open your eyes in the morning, before the world rushes in with all its worries, let the very first words on your lips be words of thanksgiving. Say, "Thank you, Father, that I can still see the light of this day." That sentence, though it seems so simple, has the power to lift your soul on high, for gratitude is the door through which grace enters. When you give thanks, you acknowledge that life is not something to be taken for granted, but a gift bestowed. And in that moment, it is as though heaven and earth pause to listen, because wherever there is a grateful heart, there I dwell. When you step out into life, to work, to meet others, to love, or to endure, it is enough that in some fleeting moment you turn your heart toward me. Even if you say nothing, I understand. For prayer is not merely the words you speak, it is the very breath of the soul, the unbroken connection between you and me. When you are eating, when you are weary, when you laugh in joy or weep in loneliness, do not forget that I am still there. Not far away beyond the clouds, but right within your heart, in every breath, every glance, every step you take. Each small act can become a prayer if it is done in love. When you care for someone, when you forgive, when you choose silence instead of anger, that too is prayer. For prayer is not only speaking to me, but living with me, living in the light of faith and love. There are times when you pray but only know how to speak. You pour out your heart, you tell me everything, and then you wait for a miracle. But my child, prayer is not only speaking, it is also listening. There are moments when I long to speak to you, but your heart is too noisy. You are surrounded by the clamor of the world, the noise of worry, of fear, of restless longing. Learn how to sit in stillness. Let your heart grow quiet. Then you will realize that I have never been silent. I have always been speaking. Only you have not been still enough to hear. My voice does not come in thunder or storm, but like a gentle breeze touching your soul. When you are recollected, when you no longer try to control everything, I will speak to you in the language of peace. And that peace will be unlike anything the world can offer. It is the kind of peace that keeps your heart calm in the midst of the tempest, that makes you smile even when your tears have not yet dried. Let prayer become your refuge, the home of your soul, the place to which you return whenever you are weary. There I will welcome you with arms that never close. My child, when you pray with true faith, you are forming a circle of light around your soul. That light cannot be seen with human eyes, but the darkness recognizes it and trembles. Every time you trust, every time you surrender, a ray of light is kindled. These rays gather into a radiant halo that shields you from temptation and despair. Faith is your shield, and prayer is a shining sword. When you pray with all your heart, you are not only speaking to me, you are fighting at my side against the darkness within you and in the world. Do not think that prayer is weakness. No, prayer is the strength of the soul. A soul that knows how to kneel before me will stand firm before every storm. When you kneel in prayer, you are not being diminished. You are being raised up. It is in that self-emptying that I fill you with the power of love and with a courage you never thought you could have. Let each day of your life become a hymn of prayer, not only with words, but with every heartbeat of your existence. When you work with honesty and devotion, that is prayer. When you forgive the one who has hurt you, that is prayer. When you lift your eyes to the sky and smile, even while your heart is aching, that too is prayer. When you say nothing, but quietly believe that I am by your side, that is already prayer. Turn every moment of your life into a ceaseless conversation with me. You do not need to go to some special place to pray, for wherever you are, there I am. Do not wait until you are in despair to seek me. Seek me also in your joy, in the simplest and most ordinary things. When you give thanks, when you share, when you love, all of that is prayer written in the language of actions. And, my child, do not be afraid when your prayers are not answered in the way you desire. I never remain silent in order to punish you. I am only arranging all things in a way more perfect than you can imagine. At times I delay in order to teach you patience. At times I refuse in order to give you something better. And at times I am silent so that you may learn to believe without seeing. That is the hardest lesson, yet it is also the greatest gift. For true faith does not demand proof. It is the step you take in the darkness with a heart full of light. Prayer is not meant to change my will, but to change you, so that you may become more like me, so that love within you may grow until you no longer ask out of fear, but ask out of love. Remember, you are never alone in your prayer. Every word you utter rises like a note of music that blends into the sacred symphony being offered by millions of souls each day. When you pray, you become part of a river of light flowing toward me. Every small drop, your words, your breath, your faith, joins countless other drops to form an ocean of love and hope. I am in that current, I am its source, and you are a part of me. Therefore, my child, do not cease to pray. Do not wait until your heart is empty to come to me. Come to me as a friend seeks a friend, as a child runs into a father's embrace. Tell me everything, your joys, your sorrows, your faults, your hopes. Listen for me in the wind, in the light, in the beating of your heart. Let me lead you through the long nights with the lamp of faith, so that you never lose your way home. For only when your soul knows how to pray do you truly live. And in that breath, the breath of prayer, you will find me, the one who has been waiting for your return since the very beginning. My beloved child, in the moments when pain closes in on you like a thick night, do not let fear overwhelm your faith. Remember that I am the one who formed you from dust, who breathed life into every vein, every cell. I know each beat of your heart, every labored breath, every tear that rolls down your cheek. There is not a single wound of yours that I do not see, not a single pain that I do not feel within my own heart. When your body is exhausted, when your breath is broken, know that I am still there, watching over you like a father keeping vigil beside his little child sleeping amidst the storm. I never abandon you. Sometimes, in order to heal you, I do not remove the pain at once, because there are things that can only mature in hardship. There are wounds that need not only medicine, but also time, stillness, and an unshaken trust. I heal not only the body, but the soul, for it is in your soul that true life begins. When you endure sickness, do not see it as punishment, but as a call to return to the quiet of your heart, to return to faith, to return to the hand I am holding out to you. My child, I know you have passed through long sleepless nights and days so weary that you no longer wish to speak. I see you struggling between anxiety and despair, searching for answers in pages of books, in the doctor's words, in the eyes of those who love you. But pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and call my name. Just whisper, "Father, I trust in you, and I will listen." That faith, even if only as small as a mustard seed, can move mountains and cast them into the sea. It is the key that opens the door to miracles. You cannot see me with your bodily eyes, but feel me in the beating of your heart, in the quiet peace that slowly seeps into every cell when you pray. Let that faith become a stream of living water flowing through your soul, washing away all fear, carrying off every shadow of darkness. When I heal you, I sometimes use the hands of others, devoted physicians, medicine, wholesome meals, or even nothing more than a peaceful sleep. Do not try to separate what is miraculous from what is ordinary, for everything I do bears the imprint of love. The greatest miracle is not that the pain disappears in an instant, but that you learn how to be at peace in the midst of the storm. Let your heart be soft like clay in the hands of a potter, so that I may reshape it, so that I may heal not only your body but also the wounds of your soul. Do not be afraid when your body grows weak, for this body is only a temporary garment for your soul. Take care of it, but do not let it rule over you. Learn to love your body, for it is the temple where I dwell. Do not torment yourself with words of criticism, and do not compare yourself with others. Every body is a unique masterpiece, formed by me with love and purpose. When you eat, eat with gratitude. When you drink, drink with joy. When you rest, let your mind be at ease like a child lying in the arms of its father. Do not fill your soul with tension, for tension is an invisible fire that burns away life. Let every anxiety flow away in prayer, for you were not born to carry everything. Hand it over to me, I will bear it, like a father who carries the heavy bag for his little child. Do you know that when you pause in the rush of life, lift your eyes to the sky and feel your heart grow lighter? That is the moment you hear my gentle whisper, I am here. That sky, the cool breezes, the warm sunlight, each one is a letter I send you every day. You only need to open your heart and you will see my love weaving through every beat of life. Train yourself to live more slowly, to listen to your body and your soul. Let the morning light awaken gratitude in you, and let the sunset remind you that everything has its beginning and its end. Your pain is the same, it will not remain forever. When you speak words of blessing, when you sow hope into the air with your own voice, you are creating a current of life-giving energy. Do not let words of bitterness spill out, for every word carries power. Instead of saying, I am so tired, I cannot go on, say, my Father is sustaining me, and I will overcome. It may sound small, but every time you choose faith instead of despair, you take a step closer to true healing. Your words do not only reach my ears, they also touch your own body. They are streams of water refreshing your soul, a melody of healing for your heart. My child, there are people who, in their pain, have blamed me and asked, Father, why do you let me suffer? But, my dear one, suffering is not a punishment. It is a journey through which the soul is refined. Just as fire melts gold, only by passing through trials do you shine like the dawn after a long night. I do not take your joy away. I only change its form so that you may learn the true value of happiness. When you fall, I do not mock you. I bend down to lift you up. When you weep, I do not withdraw. I wipe away your tears with my boundless love. Learn to look at your pain through the eyes of faith, and you will see that hidden within it are profound lessons. You may learn patience. You may learn compassion for those who are suffering. You may learn to cherish every ordinary breath. Each scar on your body is a mark of victory, a sign that you have walked through sorrow together with me. Let gratitude become the medicine that nourishes your soul. When you are grateful, you open the door for light to pour in, and it is that very light which soothes your pain. Do not forget that I do not only desire to heal your body, I also want to heal the way you see the world. Often, the weakness of the body is only a reflection of a weary soul. When you learn to forgive, when you release your resentments, your body will also become lighter. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is choosing peace instead of bitterness. Let your heart be wide open. Do not hold on to what weighs you down. Allow yourself to rest, to be weak, to weep. I do not need you to be strong at every moment. I only ask you to be honest with your own heart and to trust that I am holding your hand through every trial. My dear one, when you learn to care for yourself with love, you are also learning how to love me. Self-care is not selfish. It is an act of reverence. When you eat a wholesome meal, when you breathe deeply, When you smile at yourself in the mirror, you are telling me, I cherish the gift you have given me. Father, I rejoice when I see you living in peace, for it is a sign that you are beginning to understand the value of life. Therefore, do not run away from pain. Look it in the face with courage. Suffering has no right to define you, only love can do that, and that love, my child, is me. Let each of your days become a journey of healing, not only for your body, but also for your soul, your emotions, and the way you see yourself. Every time you smile, every prayer you whisper, every tender gesture you offer is a part of the miracle. Live fully in the present moment, for this very moment is proof that you are still loved, still sheltered, still being healed in my eternal love. My child, I do not desire that you live haunted by fear, or that you see life through the dark lens of illness or death. I want you to know how to live in the light of faith, where anxiety has no place to dwell, where your heart is free to breathe and your soul shines like a star in the night. This body is only a temporary garment, a fragile vessel that time will wear away, but your soul, the essence into which I have breathed, my life is what is eternal, the jewel I keep forever in my heart, undying, unchanging, beyond the reach of anything that could take it away. When pain winds its way through every vein and your body is exhausted with weakness, do not think that I have gone far from you. It is in those darkest moments that I am closest. I sit beside you when you cry, I lay my hand on your shoulder when you tremble with fear. I gently say to you, do not be afraid, I am here. You may not see me or touch me, but every beat of your heart, every breath that remains in you, is proof that I have never left. When your heart grows faint, I pour strength into it. When you want to give up, I raise you up with my boundless mercy. My child, faith is the bridge that joins you to me. If you hold fast to faith, you will never be truly lost. Fear comes to test you, but it has no right to rule you. Do not let fear become the master of your mind. Fix your gaze on me, the one who created all things, the one who brings the dawn after the long night, the one who sends the rain to wash the dust of the world away. If I can keep all creation turning in harmony, can I not also guide your life upon the right path? Trust that my plans are always good, even when you cannot understand the reason. There are things you call losses, but in truth, they are only preparations for greater good that is on its way. There are times when I take from you something you cling to, not to hurt you, but to make room for a larger blessing to enter. There are also times when I allow you to pass through hardship, not because I want to see you suffer, but because only in trial do you discover your own strength and see clearly my power. I never allow pain to come without purpose. Every tear you shed is counted by me, and every wound you carry is a place where I will pour my light. When you feel as though you are shattered into pieces, remember that you are in my hands, and nothing that rests in my hands can remain broken forever. I am the one who brings life again, who causes flowers to bloom from ashes, who can turn fragments into something more whole than ever before. Believe this as surely as you believe in the breath that moves within your chest. Do not let despair deceive you into thinking there is no way out, for in me every door is open and every path leads to the light. I can heal you, not only your body but also your mind and your soul. The sickness of the body is only an echo of the wounds within, and I long to heal them at the very root. I want to wash clean the wounds you have hidden, to soothe the fears you do not dare to name. When you allow me to touch your heart, you will feel peace spreading within you, not the peace the world gives, but a deep and abiding peace that keeps you standing firm in the midst of storms. My light will shine into the darkest corners of your soul, the places you once believed could never be restored, and from that very place, you will begin to see yourself coming back to life. My child, the only thing I ask of you is faith, not perfection, not desperate pleading, but a simple, pure trust. Father, I trust you. With just those words, all of heaven will move on your behalf. You do not need to know how things will unfold, for I already know. You do not need to calculate or fear the outcome, because everything rests in my hands. When you believe, you open the door for me to act. When you doubt, you close the door of grace. So keep the door of faith open, even if only by the smallest crack. My light will still find its way in. Guard your heart in purity. Do not let hatred or bitterness stain it. Keep your mind turned toward what is good. Do not allow darkness to crowd out hope. Whenever you feel weak, remember that I am your strength. Whenever you feel alone, call my name, and you will sense my warm presence like unseen arms embracing you. You are never alone, for I am the breath within you, the heartbeat in your chest, the light that guides your steps through the night. Fill your days with gratitude. Each morning when you wake, say, "Thank you, for I am still here." Gratitude opens wide the doors of blessing, whereas complaining only causes your heart to shut itself off. Pray, but do not pray only with your lips. Pray with your actions, with your love, with the way you treat others, with the patience you offer to life. For prayer is not merely words lifted toward heaven, but the living rhythm of a soul united with me. Walk through this life with clear eyes and an open heart. Do not fear the future, for your future has been written by me in love. Do not cling to the past, for I have forgiven it all. Live in the present, where I am, where my holy presence surrounds you in every moment. When you learn to live in gratitude, faith will become your very breath, and peace will become the cloak you put on each day. Faith is not only believing when everything is easy, it is believing when everything seems to be falling apart. Faith is walking through the night and still trusting that the light will come. Faith is when you say, "I do not understand, but I believe." And when you say this, I smile, because I know you have truly grown in my love. My child, this life may weary you, but never allow fear to conquer you. Let faith be the lamp in your hand so that each step you take is lit, even when the path is wrapped in fog. I am there, in the whisper of the wind, in the falling of the rain, in the smile of a passerby, in the warmth of your own hand resting upon your chest. Everywhere, I am still whispering to you, "Do not be afraid, for I have overcome the world." Go on, my child, with a faith stronger than your fear, with a heart that knows how to love, and a soul that knows how to shine. Even if your body is frail, even if tomorrow is still veiled in mist, you still belong to me. And as long as you believe, I will turn everything that seemed like an ending into a new beginning, where the light never goes out, and your soul rests forever in my loving embrace. My beloved child, when you kneel down and whisper your prayer, I do not only listen to the words that pass your lips, I also listen to every beat of your heart. Every desire, every sigh, every tear that rolls down your cheek carries a sacred meaning in my sight. But, my child, prayer is not just words. It is the action of faith, a concrete step toward what your heart longs for. When you ask for healing yet continue to live in ways that wound your soul and body, you are speaking with your mouth, but have not yet answered with your heart. Let each step you take become the continuation of that prayer. When you choose nourishing food, when you allow your soul to rest, when you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, when you pause amid the rush of life to take a deep breath and smile, in that very moment you are saying, "Amen," with your whole life. Faith is not empty talk, but concrete action that reflects the belief within. You say you believe I will heal you, then begin to act as one who has been healed. Take care of this body, for it is the temple of your soul, the place where I dwell. Do not go on destroying it with habits that drain and exhaust you. Listen to your body as you would listen to a close friend, for it is trying to tell you that you need to stop, you need to rest, you need to love yourself. When you sleep enough, when you eat in moderation, when you choose stillness over noise, you are answering my love by honoring the very creation I have entrusted to you. And my child, healing does not lie only in the body, but first of all in the soul. Forgiveness is the strongest medicine I have given you. When you release resentment, you fling wide the door for peace to enter. But when you cling tightly to the past, you hold in your hand the very key that locks you inside your own suffering. Forgiveness does not make you weak. It sets you free. Remember, what others do cannot define who you are. Only the way you respond reveals that truth. Forgiveness is the declaration that you choose light over darkness, love over fear. And in the very moment you forgive, the stream of healing begins to flow through you like a fresh spring running through a barren desert. My dear child, when you pray for others, you are not only giving words, you are giving a part of your heart. Every plea you lift to heaven for someone who is suffering I receive, and turn into a miracle in ways you cannot imagine, you do not need to see. The result at once to trust that your prayer has value. For I have said, no drop of water falls in vain. In the same way, not a single prayer is ever lost. Some blessings I grant immediately, others I hold back to give at the right time, when your heart is wide enough to receive them. When you see someone in despair, do not only pity them, pray for them. For a prayer born of compassion is one of the brightest lamps in the darkness. You may not have the power to change their circumstances, but you do have the power to sow a seed of hope. And that seed, though small, can grow into a forest of faith. I bless those who know how to pray for others, for in that moment their hearts are like my own, loving without self-interest, caring without conditions. My child, pray at all times. Do not pray only when you are weak, but also when you are strong. Do not pray only when you need help, but also when you are overflowing with joy. For prayer is not a ritual reserved only for moments of despair. It is the breath of the soul. When you are glad, give thanks to me. When you are sad, come to me. When you are weary, lean on me. When you are blessed, share that blessing through prayer for others. In this way, you will live within the cycle of grace, receiving and giving, being healed and helping to heal. There are times when you pray, and it seems as though no answer comes. You think that I am silent, that I do not hear. Yet, my child, I am always listening. It is just that sometimes I do not respond in the way you expect, because I see farther than you can see, and know more clearly than you can know. My timing is always perfect, even when it does not coincide with the moment you desire. I do not reject any prayer, I simply choose to answer in the way that is best for you. Just as a loving father will not place a knife in his child's hands, even when the child is crying for it, so I also will not give you what will wound you, even if you do not understand that right now. Therefore, learn to wait with patience. True faith is not shown only in the moment you pray, but in the way you wait afterward. Do you wait in fear or in peace? Do you wait in doubt or in gratitude? The one who truly believes knows that even when nothing can yet be seen, the blessing is already on its way, like a seed pushing forth in the hidden soil before it breaks through into the sunlight. Wait with a quiet heart, for stillness is the soil in which miracles grow. Do not forget, my child, that at times, you yourself are the answer to someone else's prayer. When you embrace one who is collapsing inside, when you listen without judging, when you reach out a helping hand, you are becoming an instrument in my hands. This world does not need more people who talk about love as much as it needs those who live love. Be such a person. Let my love flow through you like an unceasing river, refreshing parched souls and bringing back to life hearts that seem to have turned to stone. Each day, begin with prayer and end with gratitude. When you awaken, say, Lord, I believe that today will be a day full of grace. When you are weary, say, I place all my cares into your hands. When you rejoice, say, I thank you for every good thing. In this way you weave every moment of your life into the inexhaustible stream of the sacred energy that never runs dry. Prayer is not only to change circumstances, it is to transform you. When you pray, you learn humility, for you begin to see that you cannot control everything on your own. When you pray, you learn compassion, because you start to look at others through the eyes of love. When you pray, you learn patience, as you come to understand that everything has its appointed time. And when you pray, you learn to trust that though this world is full of uncertainty, there is a greater love that enfolds it all. My child, let prayer become the rhythm of your life. Do not seek me only in the storms, seek me also in the gentle breeze of the morning. Do not pray only when you are in need. Pray as a song of thanksgiving for what you already have. Each time you do this, your soul is washed clean, your mind grows clearer, and your heart becomes more like mine, gentle, merciful, and filled with light. And as you walk through life with a heart that knows how to pray, you will become a source of healing for yourself and for the world. You will no longer be gripped by fear or confusion, because you will know that my hand is always lifting you up, always guiding you through each crossroads, always raising you whenever you fall. Live as though every breath you take is a prayer, every action a testimony of faith, and every glance a small lamp shining love. Then you will discover that you have never been far from me, and that all you have been searching for outside has always been within you, where I dwell, loving you and waiting for you from the very beginning. My beloved child, allow your heart to be reborn in joy, for joy is the song of the soul and the very breath of life. I do not desire that you drag yourself through long days on weary feet and with eyes full of anxiety. I desire that you walk in the radiance of true joy, the joy that does not depend on circumstances, that does not fade when storms gather, but springs from the peace within. Smile, my child, for every smile is a small flower opening in the garden of life. When you smile, you are telling the darkness that it no longer has power over you. When you choose to hope, you are lighting a small lamp in the deep night, and that light, though tiny, is enough to drive away the darkness within your soul. The world around you may be in turmoil, full of sighs and tears, but do not allow it to steal the light within your heart. Lift up your eyes and let them follow my light, for when you turn toward me, fear melts away like mist under the sun. Do not fix your gaze on what is broken or on your wounds, because wherever you set your eyes, there your soul will grow. Look instead at the beauty I have scattered throughout the earth, the touch of dawn upon your hair, the bird song in the early morning, the gentle breeze kissing your cheek, the branches swaying in the evening sky. All of these are speaking to you about me, about a love that never leaves. When you come to see that every ray of sunshine and every drop of rain carries a message of love, you will know that life is still beautiful, even when it wears a garment of sorrow. When night falls, pray. You do not need ornate words, only a grateful heart. Say, Father, I thank you that I have made it through another day. Whether that day has been shattered or filled with light, it is still a gift of life, a further step on the journey back to the light. Let gratitude become your very breath, for when you are grateful, you cannot sink into despair. Thanksgiving opens the door to peace, and peace is the place where I dwell within your heart. I do not seek perfection from you, for I know you are human. You will stumble, you will be weak, there will be moments when you cannot stand. I have never asked you to be strong all the time. I only ask that you be truthful with yourself and with me. Come to me with the honesty of your heart. If you are angry, say it. If you are confused, pour it out. If you feel abandoned, cry out to me. Do not hide your wounds, for it is precisely there, in your places of brokenness, that my light can enter and heal. I can bear every truth you carry, whether it is a painful cry or a word of complaint, because I understand you better than you understand yourself. You cannot drive me away with your truth. You only draw me closer, for I do not love you because you are perfect, but because you are you, the child I formed with boundless love. When you open your heart, I will fill it with peace. Peace is not the absence of hardship, it is my presence in the midst of the storm. When you feel weak, remember that my strength is flowing through your very veins. When you feel alone, know that I am walking with you, even in the deepest darkness. You may not see me, but I am there, in your breathing, in the beating of your heart, in the soft touch of the wind upon your shoulder, whenever you think you are utterly alone. You do not know how strong you are until you have to stand up amid the ruins. It is precisely in affliction that you begin to recognize my strength at work within you. When you think you cannot go on, listen to the whisper in your heart. Keep going. That voice is not from the world, it is from me. I am the quiet strength lifting you every time you fall. I am the unseen embrace that holds you back from sinking into despair. I am the warmth that slips into the cold night, the gentle call reminding you that you are still loved, still chosen, still held. That is why I desire you to trust me completely. It is not because I need to be proved, but because only when you trust can you truly receive. Faith is not blindness, it is a deep seeing that goes beyond reason, a yes spoken in the dark, believing that the light still exists even when your eyes cannot yet behold it. Believe that I am the one who heals, not only your body but also the fractures of your soul. Believe that I am the one who protects, not only from dangers outside, but from the storms that rage within you. Believe that I am the one who comforts. I wipe away your tears even before they fall. And above all, believe that I am your friend, the friend who never leaves, even when everyone else is gone. I will never disappoint you, because my love does not change. When you believe, healing begins. Faith is the flame that burns away fear, the wings that lift you over the chasms. In the very moment you say, "Father, I trust you," the sky within your heart begins to shift. You may not yet see the miracle, but it is already set out and is moving toward you. I am arranging all things. What you cannot understand today will become the explanation of tomorrow. Keep on believing, even if it is only a single spark, for a single ray of light is enough to drive away the whole night. Keep that flame burning in your heart. Each time you choose to believe, you are rekindling your own light. Each time you smile in the midst of the storm, heaven sings a song of joy. Each time you give thanks when there seems to be nothing to be thankful for, you are writing another chapter in the story of faith. Do not be afraid if you must walk down empty roads, for you are never alone. Let faith become the compass in your hand, leading you through the darkness, because in the end, every path will bring you back to me, where there is peace, where there is light, and where there is a joy that never fades. My child, smile again, hope again, live again, for I am still here, and the moment you turn back and look, you will see that my light has never once left you, not even for a second. My child, do not let hope slip away from your heart, not even for a single breath. Hope is the fragile yet unbreakable thread that connects you to the light, the quiet ember that keeps burning in your heart even when the winds of life blow their fiercest. When you hold on to hope, you are holding on to life. When you pray, you are opening your soul so that I may step in, so that my peace may flow through every cell within you. And when you are grateful, you are creating a miracle, a stream of pure energy lifting you closer to me. Gratitude is not only words spoken, but the sincere heartbeat of the soul, the warmth that makes a person nobler and gentler in the midst of this harsh world. Remember that even the smallest words of thanks carry the power to stir the heavens. When you whisper, "Thank you, Father, for this breath," in that very moment you are acknowledging the grace of life that I have given you. When you say, "Thank you, Father, for this moment," you are allowing your heart to flow into the present, where I am most clearly present. Every moment you live is a sacred gift. Every beat of your heart is a testimony that my love is still flowing in you. Do not let the worries of daily life make you forget the simple beauty of things that seem so small. The morning sunlight, the birds singing outside your window, or just the warmth of a cup of tea in your hands. All of these are signs that I am still there, gentle, patient, waiting for you to notice. Gratitude is the bridge between the human soul and boundless grace. When you give thanks to me, you are not only offering words of appreciation, but opening the door of your heart to receive blessings. Gratitude is like a magnet. It draws goodness to you and lets light seep into every dark corner of your life. A grateful person is never truly poor, for they carry within them the treasure of joy. A grateful person is never truly alone, for their heart always has room for love and forgiveness. Let gratitude become the rhythm of your daily life. In every breath, every thought, every action, let it flow naturally like a gentle river, soothing even those pains that once left you parched and empty. Do not think of prayer as a duty, but see it as an intimate conversation between you and me. Pray when you are happy, to share your joy. Pray when you are sad, to find comfort. Pray when you are lost, so that I may show you the way home. Every word you speak from a sincere heart is heard by me, even if it is only a sigh, a whisper that never becomes sound. Do not worry if you do not know what to say to me, because sometimes silence itself is the deepest prayer. As long as you turn your heart toward me, I am already there, listening to every trembling within you. Nourish your soul with love, for love itself is the medicine that heals all wounds. When you love yourself with kindness, you are honoring the form I created. You cannot give to others what you do not have, so begin by being gentle with your own heart. Forgive your mistakes. Look into the mirror and say, I am still my Father's child. I am still loved. That love does not depend on achievements. It does not change because of failure. It is unconditional love, a light that never goes out. When you live in that love, you will spread peace to everyone around you without even trying. Gratitude is not only in words, but in deeds. Show your thankfulness through the way you treat life, with patience, with a kind gaze, with a smile given to a stranger. When you love others, you are giving thanks to me. When you forgive, you are speaking words of gratitude through your actions. And when you live wholeheartedly, you are offering me the most beautiful song of your life. Gratitude is not only for when everything goes well, but also when storms arise. For within every trial there is a precious lesson hidden, and every tear waters the seed of growth in your soul. Learn to see everything through the eyes of faith. When you can see light in the midst of adversity, you are living in gratitude. When you smile through pain, you are proving that gratitude is stronger than fear. Life will never be perfect, but a grateful heart will always find a reason to smile. Pause each day, breathe deeply, and say, "Thank you, Father, that I am still here." Just that is enough for you to realize that you are being upheld by grace. I want you to understand that prayer is not only asking, it is connection. When you pray, you are anchoring yourself to the source of peace. When you give thanks, you are sowing seeds of blessing for your future. When you live in love, you are continuing the work of creation that I began. And when you hope, you are rekindling the undying flame of light within your own heart. My child, keep praying, keep giving thanks, keep loving. Let each day of your life be a symphony woven from faith and gratitude. Let the words "Thank you, Father" rise, not only from your lips, but from the deepest place in your soul. For when you give thanks, heaven and earth beat in unison, and I smile upon you, my small child who carries within a radiant heart. Do not forget that gratitude will carry you farther than any plea, because it widens your heart until I can pour myself into it without even needing to knock. And when night falls, in the quiet of your little room, gently close your eyes and let your heart speak in your place. Thank you, Father, for today, for everything. In that moment, you will see that peace does not come from outside, but from deep within your soul, where I still dwell, where love and gratitude become one, where my light has never once gone out. My child, there are long nights when you silently look up at the sky and wonder why life holds so many things you cannot understand. You have tried, you have trusted, and yet it seems nothing has changed. I know that at times you ask yourself, are you still here? Are you still listening? And I want to tell you, with all the gentleness of my heart, that I have never left you, not even for a second. When you are silent in your tears, I am there, not to judge, not to blame, but simply to listen to every sigh. Each time you tremble in the night, each time your heart shatters from hurt, it is my unseen hand resting on your shoulder, so that you may know you are not alone. You often think you are unworthy, that you are too small and too flawed to be loved. But my child, my love does not demand worthiness. It exists because its very nature is to love, not because of merit or perfection. If I loved only the perfect, would there be anyone on earth left to love? It is precisely because you are weak, because you are fragile, that I love you all the more. My love is not a reward for the righteous, but a torch for the lost. It does not go out when you make mistakes. It burns even brighter to light the way for your return. I know there are wounds in your heart that others cannot see, pains you hide behind your smile. Perhaps you have been betrayed, hurt, abandoned, and you have built a thick wall around yourself so no one can reach you. But my child, that wall also keeps you imprisoned. I do not come to tear it down by force, but with the light of understanding. I will stand outside, patiently knocking, never pushing, only waiting for the moment you open your heart. And when you do, you will see. You do not need to strain to be strong, because it is precisely in your weakness that you will feel my strength the most. You have grown so used to being hurt that sometimes you even doubt what is good. You are afraid that every beautiful thing will eventually fade, that everyone who comes will one day leave. But I am not like that. I am the only one whose heart does not change. When everyone else walks away, I remain. When you collapse, I patiently lift you up. When you are exhausted, I do not scold you. I simply gather you into my embrace. My love is not loud, not in need of display. It is a warm spring flowing quietly through a barren desert, a gentle breeze passing through your darkest days, a tenderness that never disappears. My child, do not compare yourself with anyone else anymore. The world always wants you to race and compete to become greater than others, but I only want you to be truthful with yourself. I do not need you to be noble in the eyes of people. I only need you to have a straight and compassionate heart. Every person has their own journey, and you do not know how many tears were shed for those radiant smiles you see. Stop looking at others just to blame yourself, because I created you as a one-of-a-kind being. Among countless people, there is only only you who carry this soul, this breath, this unique light. Do not try to be a copy of anyone else. Become the miracle I have formed within you. You may feel that you are not good enough, but I see within you a vast potential that you have not yet recognized. I have placed in you the seeds of kindness, of faith, of resilience. Even if storms knock you down, those seeds are still there, waiting for the day they will bloom. Be patient, for every flowering needs time. Do not be afraid that you are slower than others, for I do not count your steps by speed, but by faithfulness. Every time you choose good over evil, love over hatred, you are already walking in the right direction, even if you have only traveled a small stretch of the way. My child, I know this world is not an easy place to live. You have to face countless pressures, and many voices cause you to doubt yourself. There are times when you feel lost in the crowd, as though no one truly understands you. But I understand. I understand every fear you carry, every old wound, every dream you have not dared to speak out loud. I understand even the things you cannot yet name, and because I understand, I never despise you. When the world condemns you, I defend you. When your own heart accuses itself, I whisper, "Be at peace, for I still love you." Do not let the darkness of your mistakes obscure the light of your goodness. As long as you can still feel remorse, as long as you still desire to become better, it means the flame within you is still burning, and I will not let it die out. I will breathe upon it so that it may flare up again, so that it may shine into the parts of your soul that have grown cold. Let me teach you how to forgive others, and to forgive yourself. For only when you release hatred can you step into true freedom. Hatred does not wound others more, it only wears you out. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is the great courage of a heart that knows how to love. My dear one, when you face suffering, remember that not a single tear is meaningless. Every pain carries within it a lesson, and if you look with the eyes of faith, you will see that these very trials are shaping you to become more resilient, more compassionate, more wise. Just as diamonds are formed only under great pressure, your soul is being refined through each storm. You may not see it now, but one day, when you look back, you will realize that not a single moment of your life was wasted. I want you to learn how to love life, even when life is not easy to love. Look around you, every sunrise is my message to you that you still have a chance to begin again. Every caressing breeze is my gentle touch upon your soul. Every bird song, every blossoming flower, every smile from someone you meet is a sign from me, reminding you that this world is still very beautiful. You only need to open your heart to see it. Learn to give thanks, even for the smallest things, because gratitude is the key that opens the door to peace. Do not be afraid to walk the path on which I lead you, even if it is rough and uneven, because I will never let you walk alone. When you are weak, I will be strong in your place. When you are lost, I will show you the way. When you are wounded, I will be your healing balm. Sometimes you think I am silent, but in truth I am working in the silence, preparing the way so that what is good may arrive at the right time. Be patient and trust, for everything I do is for your lasting good, even when you do not yet understand. There are dreams you once cherished that you abandoned after failure. But my child, if those dreams were sown by what is good, let me bring them back to life. They may not come to pass in the way you imagined, but they will come in a better way, at a better time. Let me be the one to set the timing, for I see farther than you do. You see only a small part. I see the whole picture. What you think is delay is actually preparation. What you think is loss is in fact the stepping stone towards something better that is on its way. Do not forget that every breath you draw is proof that I am still giving you a chance. If I allow you to live, it means I still have a plan for you. No one is meaningless in my eyes. Even if you feel abandoned by life, know that I am using you to touch other souls. Perhaps with a simple smile, a word of comfort, a small gesture, you have already eased someone's pain without even knowing it. Do not measure the worth of your life by achievements. Look instead at the love you have given. My child, do not let fear rule your life. Live with courage, for I have placed within you a strong spirit. Do not fear loss, because what truly belongs to you will never leave you. Do not fear the future, for I am already there waiting for you. Do not be afraid to love, because love is the most sacred essence I have bestowed upon you. When you love, you resemble me, and no act of love, no matter how small, is ever in vain. Learn to listen to the voice within, where I whisper to you. It is not loud, not fierce, but as gentle as a breeze, as warm as the first rays of morning light. When you pause in stillness, you will hear it. I am there, in your heartbeat, in the tender flow of your thoughts, in that indescribable peace you feel when you pray. Do not seek me in far-off places, Seek me within yourself, for I have set my throne in your heart. One day you will realize that my love is not only meant to move you emotionally, but to transform you. That love wants to make you strong, humble, and merciful. It wants you to become a sower of love in this world. Every good deed, every gentle word, every act of forgiveness is you reflecting my image. The world may be cruel, but you choose to be gentle. The world may be deceitful, but you choose to be truthful. The world may be cold, but you keep your heart warm. And when night falls and all noise has faded, remember this: I am still watching you with tender eyes. Even if you have achieved nothing yet, even if your life feels unfinished, you are still my joy. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are you. Sleep in my peace, for tomorrow I will still be there, still waiting for you to go on, still ready to hold you whenever you need. My child, my love for you is not just words. It is breath, it is light, it is the pulse of life around you. It is present in every morning, in every ray of sunshine, in every heartbeat of those who love you. Live, believe, love, and let your heart be filled with gratitude. For every day you wake up is evidence that I am still giving you a new opportunity, an opportunity to love more, to forgive more, to live more fully. And then you will see, life is no longer a chain of weary days, but a journey of returning to the very source of love's light. All suffering will one day fade, every tear will one day dry, and only one thing will remain, never to pass away: my love for you, eternal, unconditional, boundless, without end. Now, offer me the prayer of your heart, with all the faith, love, and deepest sincerity within you. Let every word you speak be more than sound. Let it be the breath of your soul, the light that guides you through the night times of your life. Pray as though the whole world has fallen silent, and there is only you and me in the sacred stillness of the divine. Almighty God, who formed me with the very breath of life, I bow my head in humility and confess that I need you now more than ever. My body is weary, my mind is unsettled, yet my soul still turns to you as a little child runs into the arms of their father. Please lay your healing hand upon the places where I hurt, and mend the wounds I cannot see with my eyes. Grant me strength to endure these moments of weakness, and teach me to recognize your love even in my pain. When I no longer understand your plans, let me still trust in your heart, the heart that always desires what is best for me. Help me to know that every tear I shed is not in vain, and that every wound can be a doorway that leads me closer to you. Loving Father, my constant protector, I feel as though my body is dissolving in exhaustion, yet I know you are still upholding me with the unseen hands of your love. I ask that you stay by my side in every breath I take, so that fear may no longer rule my heart. Teach me to pray not simply to escape trials, but to find you in the midst of the storm. When I have no strength left, let me lean on your power. When I fall, please lift me up in your compassion. I believe that your healing is on its way, perhaps not quickly, but surely, like the gentle dawn that slowly drives away the night. O God, my merciful Father, I bow in gratitude for the quiet miracles you continue to work in my life each day. I thank you that even in my suffering, I can still feel your hand upon me. I thank you for the nights when you watch over me, and for the moments of peace in the middle of the tempest. I thank you that you do not heal me according to my wishes, but in the way you know is better. May my heart never forget this grace, so that with every breath I take, I remember that I am living inside your love. Lord of mercy, I thank you that you have not forsaken me, even when I have doubted, complained, and shown my weakness. I thank you for patiently teaching me the lessons of surrender, of faith, and of gratitude. I know that without pain, I might never have discovered the depth of your love. Please help me to live always with a grateful heart, no matter what my life may look like, for only in thanksgiving do I find true healing. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.